everyone. So summer is quickly upon us. It's going to be summer in a few weeks, and with that comes summer releases. So I've been doing a lot of these seasonals, most anticipated books every season. I've done one for winter, for spring, and here we are for summer. So the books I'll be talking about today are all being released in either June, July, or August, aka the summer months. So these are all the ones I'm interested in. I will say there's not a ton on this list that I was expecting. I think summer is kind of a slower publishing, at least for me being interested in them. Months. I feel like spring and fall are the really big publishing times where a lot of books that get released that I just really want. Summer's kind of a little bit slower, which I don't know. I feel like I read the most in the summertime. So I don't know, there's only maybe about 10 or 15 books on this list. Not a ton for me personally, but either way, these are the ones I'm most interested in. So without further ado, let's begin. So in June, the first book I want to talk about comes out on June 5th, which is probably already out by the time I'm filming this, and that is Little Do We Know by Tamara Ireland Stone. I have already read this and loved it, so can definitely recommend it to you. This is a YA contemporary book about two neighbors, Hannah and Emery, who are the bestest of friends, and then something happens that splits them apart, and you're reading about both of their perspectives. A lot of things are happening in each of their lives. Emery's about to go to college and leaving her mom, who's getting remarried, and she doesn't like the guy that she's marrying. She's also in a really good relationship that she doesn't want to leave. And then we have Hannah, who is a pastor's daughter, and she's really questioning her faith and her dad and things like that. And you're just trying to figure out why these two are not talking, and it's about it's about them. It's about the exploration of these characters. So it's a quiet type of contemporary, which I adored. So I would definitely recommend this one. So be sure to be on the lookout for it. I say that even though it's already out. Came out on June 5th. So check it out in stores or your library now. Speaking of the 5th, I think I have a few of these that have already been released. Sorry. And that is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This one also got released on the 5th. This is another YA contemporary book where it's about a girl that sister is coming home to get married, like they have their wedding in the backyard. It's being pitched as Father of the Bride and 16 Candles. Both movies I adore, so definitely planning to read this month. I cannot wait to read it. I love Morgan Matson books. They're all just adorable and cute and fluffy, and I can't get enough of them. Still rolling with the 5th here. A lot of books coming out on the 5th. The next one is Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. This is the second book in the Beartown series. I actually just finished this and loved it. Love this series. Was not expecting to love it. Beartown, the first book in this series, is about a town called Beartown, and it's an ice hockey town, and they live and breathe ice hockey, and it's about all of these ice hockey players. A lot of them are teenagers. It's about their coaches. It's about the general managers of Beartown. It's about a lot. It's just about the people of Beartown. And just so you know, this series does involve rape, so trigger warning for you there. It talks about how it happens, the ramifications, what happens afterward, how a town divides. It's just an amazing, hard-hitting series that I have fallen in love with and would highly recommend. So definitely check this one out, even though it's already out. Beartown's been out for a while, so be sure to check that one out first, for sure, before picking up this one. The one I talk about on June 5th is The Kiss Quote by Helen Huang. This is an adult romance, steamy romance at that. It's about a woman that has Asperger's, and she really doesn't know how to navigate love or friendship, so she decides to hire a male escort to teach her about a lot of sexy things. So things happen from there. I'm sure it's going to be steamy and amazing and wonderful, and honestly a perfect beach read. I keep saying that, but like steamy, cutesy books are like my go-to beach read. So summertime reads. Here it is for you. Then on the 12th, we have A Reaper at the Gates by Sabatir. This is the third book in the Ember and the Ashes series. This is a YA fantasy series that I just love and adore. It's kind of a Romanesque series where it's about these evil people called the Mask, and they have this army that are really evil. Then we have this rebellion growing, and it's all about these three characters and how they're all very different, and they all kind of come together and sometimes not, and it's really great. The only thing I don't love about this series is that there's like a love square in it. Not a love triangle, it's like a love square. Sometimes it's like a love hexagon. It's kind of ridiculous, but I love the action in this book and the magic, and I just love the awesomeness that the series is, so I'm for sure reading it this month because I cannot wait. Also on the 12th, we have The Bookshops of Yesterday by Amy Meyerson. This is an adult book. I don't know much about this book. The cover caught my eye as I was perusing on Goodreads, and then I learned more about it. I was like, this book sounds something right up my alley. This is about a girl named Miranda who grew up in the stacks of like her Uncle Billy's bookstore. She would always solve these really intricate scavenger hunts that he created for her. But on her 12th birthday, her Uncle Billy has a mysterious falling out with Miranda's mother, and so she doesn't really see him anymore. And she doesn't hear from him again until 16 years later. She receives news that he has died and he has left her his bookstore. She's teetering on bankruptcy, and there is one final scavenger hunt for her to solve. And basically she finds clues that Billy has hidden for her inside novels on the store shelves and locked drawers, and she becomes determined to solve the scavenger hunt. So this kind of has similar veins to me as The Last Equation of Isaac Severy, which I will be honest with you, I attempted reading that 3 times. I DNF'd it 3 times. So I'm hoping that this is going to be kind of different. I like the fact that it's a scavenger hunt, and I hope that it is a scavenger hunt. I don't feel like Isaac Severy was that, so I felt like it was kind of misleading with the synopsis. So either way, I definitely want to check this one out, and I really think it's going to be awesome. It sounds like Clue meets the bookstore. I'm there for that. Then on the 26th, we have My Plain Jane, which is written by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is the sequel spin-off of I read a few years ago, and I loved it. They take kind of historical stories and put a positive spin on them. In this book, they're tackling Jane Eyre, and they're spinning it up because they're making it kind of like a thriller mystery of Jane Eyre, which I think is going to be amazing. It's very hilarious, so if you're looking for a fun time, I would highly recommend checking this one out. The first book made me laugh so much. I think the second one will probably do just that. Moving into July, on the 3rd, we have Dear Mrs. Bird by A.G. Pierce. Don't be mistaken, I do think this has already been out in the UK for quite some time. It's being released in the US on July 3rd. This book is about, it says, an irresistible debut set in London during World War II about an adventurous young woman who becomes a secret device columnist. So that's all you need to know. That's all I want to know. It takes place in 1940 about a woman that becomes a secret device columnist during World War II. Sounds amazing. 10th, I have The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. Final Girls, which is a mystery thriller I love. I honestly do not know anything about this book, and I don't want to know because Final Girls is one thriller that I've really enjoyed. So I'm expecting to be a lot of plot twists that I'm not expecting, kind of be a little bit gruesome. Either way, if you're looking for interesting mystery thriller, I would highly recommend checking out Final Girls and also The Last Time I Lied, which is coming out on July 10th. I have that written down. Also on July 10th is Lido by Libby Page. This book I think also has been released in the UK for quite some time, but it's being released in the US now. This book is being pitched to me as a mixture of A Man Called Uva and Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Both books I adore. I had a woman named Rosemary who was 86 and she lived in Brixton, London all of her life, but everything is changing and now like she's having to move somewhere, and I think it's basically a charming feel-good novel that reminds us that friendship can blossom in the most unlikely of places. Sometimes you just have to dive in head first. So it sounds like a heartwarming and amazing story, and I love heartwarming stories, and I'm so excited to try this one out. The 31st, we have The Sea Witch by Sara Henning, which is a YA fantasy book, I think. This book is Rise of Hans Christian Andersen's iconic villainess is a heart-wrenching story of friendship, betrayal, and a girl pushed by her limits to become a monster. I'm finally getting into the groove of like mermaid and siren stories. I was not at a good point with them a few years ago, but now I'm really enjoying them. So I hope to really enjoy this one. And for August, I only have 2 books. So the first one is coming out on the 28th. Actually, both of them are. And the first one is The City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. This is a middle grade book by her, which is very interesting because I've read an adult book by her, I've read YA books by her, and now middle grade. Girl tackling all the genres. I love it. About a girl, Cassidy Blakes, whose parents are the inspectors, a somewhat inept ghost hunting team. But Cass herself can really see ghosts. In fact, her best friend Jacob just happens to be one. So it sounds like it's going to be a really awesome kind of spooky book, which I might save for Halloween because I love Victoria Schwab's writing, so I'm interested to see how it's going to fit into the middle grade genre, and I can't wait to read it. Another one I also might be saving for Halloween is Toil and Trouble, which also comes out on the 28th. And this is written by a myriad of authors. I forget who's editing it, and it's all about 15 tales of witchcraft. So I'm there for that. Definitely gonna save it for Halloween because it sounds like a perfect book to read during that time. And there you have it. Those are all the books that I'm looking forward to this summer. So I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I read them back. It does sound like a lot. But every season, there is a lot of books that I want to check out. This season's kind of the less of that. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. Either way, if you have any books that you're really excited for that are coming out this summer, please leave them down in the comments below. I am sure I have missed some because I always do, so I apologize for that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
I'll always love you and make you